welcome to Module 3's discussion with myself and Jim. That's not going to change anytime soon. So Jim, let's talk about, we were talking about state induction in this module, and what I want you to do is, I want you to focus on why this is so important, because this is something that people, you watching, you may think, I'll just skip this part. This doesn't seem that important to me. So let's really drive home the importance of this.
Well, what state induction allows you to do, number one, is to be effective. And what does effective mean? It means that you are into the prospect or the client in a way that they are willing to be suggestive, right? To be suggestible, so that whatever it is that you're speaking into in that moment, they will go with you as well, right? Because this is what the cognitive dissonance process is all about. It's taking that prospect on a journey backwards, forwards, and in order to do so, we must be in state. And so what state allows me to do is to be, first of all, focused and certain, right? And I'm focused and certain in state because, number one, I believe that my value to this client is critically important.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
I believe that just like myself, I have the ability through this process to execute effectively into a transformation for my prospect conversationally, so that they will change from who they are right now, a seeker, someone in need, someone that is deficient, whatever it might be, into someone who feels powerful, who feels that there's extraordinary opportunity for themselves.
Yeah.
So focusing in on state allows me to achieve movement, right? Allows me to achieve excitement and possibility in the minds of the prospect and myself.
Yeah, and our brains are quite attuned, Jim, I would imagine, to noticing changes from people. Like if you're speaking to me even on a call and you're not coming across as certain, I can pick that up in your voice very
absolutely.
quickly. Our brains are very smart that way, right?
Oh, yes. Yes, they are. And as a matter of fact, what will happen is we will come to decisions. We'll start making these micro decisions that all of a sudden the prospect starts pulling away out of the conversation, and at some point, the truth is, they've already made their decision that they're not going to go forward, even though they're listening to you.
Yeah, exactly, which is pretty scary when you think about how quickly your state affects the quality of the call. And it's a little bit like, I was speaking to you earlier on and saying, like a magician or whatever, they're going into a show, they're always setting up their act so that they cannot fail. And really, I think of state induction similarly.
That's correct. And what it is state induction is, in sales, there's a saying, ABC, always be closing, right? Which is the absolute opposite of what we should be doing. What we should be doing and what we do through this process is ABO, always be opening. Always be opening up an opportunity. Always be opening up a pathway. Always be opening up the prospect's mind of desirability, that they see you as the only unique pathway to their chance of being successful and fulfilled. So that's the ABO approach.
Which is great. And so let's now talk about, let's just show physically, because we talked about it on the module, how it is we actually get into state.
Well, one of the things, again, as Vice President of Sales at Tony Robbins, of course, if any of you have been to his UPW and your firewalkers, you've always gotten in state, you've had your power move, but physiologically, standing straight, standing erect, I mean, never sitting down when in conversation with a prospect or a client, you will sound powerful, you will think freely, the oxygen will flow in a way that you will sound louder and sound more certain. So it's getting into that powerful state because, first of all, you owe it to yourself because this will allow you to be more effective. Secondly, you owe it to the prospect to be powerful, to be effective, to be certain, and to transfer that whole emotive experience over to your prospect.
Yeah, and I always like to think of it, Jim, like what I am enrolling the client into, I believe, is the best thing for them.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Therefore, I've got to do whatever I can to get that across.
Right, exactly. Well, what we're seeking is what? Congruency. Congruency is the key. Congruency means that I am offering you, and I am offering myself as an individual who can get you to a place that you can't get yourself, whether it be through a product or whether it be through a service. And so, because I believe that, then it's important for me to to actually become that certainty, to become the voice of reason, to become the voice of confidence, but more important, to be absolutely congruent in the way that I speak, in the volume that I speak, in the canter, everything that it is that I project on that phone or in front of that individual must be congruent with the outcome that I offer, which is an outcome of success.
So to get that congruency, to get that feeling that you're talking about, we talked in the first module, I believe it was, about the idea of not being transactional and actually moving towards relational.
Correct.
Is that what gets us this feeling, or is it down to purely being successful with this from time to time? How do we get this feeling?
Well, this feeling, first of all, when you physiologically put yourself in a place of a powerful state, you will automatically feel different. When you've got your shoulders up, you've got your chest out, you're standing erect, and you see yourself in the mirror and you're resolute, you will start feeling that way. If there's need for any type of incantation or a reminder of who you are, what your product offers to the world, that could be your purpose statement, right? What it is that you believe about yourself and what it is that you are offering to the prospect. So that state of certainty can begin simply by a physiological move.
And so another thing I find very interesting here, and we got to frame this correctly because it can sound weird if not,
right,
is this idea of superiority.
Right, superior to what? Well, keep in mind, what it is that we're superior to is we're claiming superiority over limiting beliefs, over procrastination, over status quo. We're claiming superiority over a losing mentality, a mentality of failure, of limitation, all that the client comes to us with, or that we may even have ourselves. We're claiming a superior path that's going to enable us to overwhelm that mindset, those beliefs. So yeah, it's absolutely a superior way of thinking.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. So we have the stance, we have the feeling of superiority in the right way.
The incantations,
yes,
the purpose statements, all of these are important. Why? Because, and you may seem, well, it seems a bit ritualistic, or it seems like you're going overboard, and you're right, it is. It doesn't seem that way, it is. It is a ritual, it goes overboard, because why? Because we're looking for extraordinary results. You're looking, in order to offer individuals the opportunity to achieve extraordinary results, we first must manifest it. Not only manifest it in an external way, but internally, to be internally congruent with the success that we are offering our clients to achieve.
So we do this before every call, Jim, or just first thing in the morning? What would you recommend?
Well, actually, Steve, both. Right. First thing when we wake up in the morning, first thing when we're getting ready to make that first call, before that first call, when I know myself, I'm preparing, meaning that I'm reviewing what it is that I've determined to be my purpose for my client, my purpose for my business, what it is that my value is, my value statement. In other words, what it is that I'm offering for individuals that are seeking change, that are seeking transformation. So, inducing state in yourself is important all throughout the day, because once my state is induced, then I can transfer emotively that state to my clients, right?
Yeah, and so would you recommend listening to anything in particular, motivational things, or is that too weak, let's just say, or what do you think?
Well, if you're listening to the appropriate motivational material, meaning something that is not transactional, something that is at more of a scholarly, intellectual level, because the truth is, in order to move from a transactional, low-level methodology and into a relational, higher level, at a more scholarly, more intellectual level, it's really important that you're not only listening to material that is intellectually higher, but also, too, that you transform your reading, the digestion of material, from a tactical, how do I do this, into an understanding, a philosophical, a neurological understanding of the human being and how it is we're influenced. You know, for example, Daniel Kahneman just came out with a book called Thinking Fast and Slow, an extraordinary book, Nobel Prize winner. an extraordinary book on how it is we as individuals think and come to decisions in uncertainty.
Yeah.
I truly believe that it's incumbent upon us to become absolutely scholarly and intellectual at what it is we have to offer.
Excellent. So we've got Daniel Kahneman. We've also got the Robert Keegan book.
You've got Robert Keegan, right, Immunity to Change.
Yeah.
You've got Max Bazerman and his negotiations material. And by the way, we'll be up at Harvard shortly to enroll in that negotiations course. And just go to the index of those contributing authors and material, and you can get more and more reading material and become a voracious reader, right? Where you're reading at least a book a week, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, so that was Module 3. There's a lot in there for you to digest. We'll leave a little PDF below this video with the books that we've recommended and stuff like
Yes,
that. So
good idea.
you can get access to it right away. So we'll see you guys in the next module.